Hello. Oh, should we restart? You phoning it?
No, I'm ready. I'm live.
You ready and live? Okay.
Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
All right, you guys. Feels good to be back. We are back. This is it. This is where people come to learn about people who are trying to survive and be the best survivor.
I really thought you were going to take that into like a Nicole Kidman at AMC kind of thing.
Oh, yeah?
This is where we go to dream, to imagine, to escape.
Yeah, next time. But this is Sofa Survivors, you guys. It feels so good to come back here and talk about one of my favorite shows, one of Mike's soon-to-be favorite shows.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. I'm Tom Sofa, and you are?
I'm Mike Tomato.
And we are here live for us, not live for you. And
In case you didn't know that already.
we're going to give it to you. So take it.
So take it. Consensually.
Well,
Consensually.
that's true.
Yeah, come on. It's 2025.
Consent is sexy.
Consent is so sexy.
Oh, yes. Anyway, we're here talking about season 1, episode 10 of Survivor. This is another one of our famous double Survivor episodes. We're going to start with 10, and then, believe it or not, we're going to move on to 11 after that. This episode is called, do you know off the top of your head?
Something about alliances.
That's right. Yeah, it's Crack in the Alliance is what it is, not Kraken.
Crack in the Alliance.
Crack in the
Yes.
Alliance.
Yes.
Do you want to tell me what characters are left?
So we have Rudy, Rich, Sue, Kelly, Sean, Colleen, Jarvis.
That's correct.
Nailed it. Crushed it.
Do you want to tell me everybody that's gone?
Fuck.
You could say no.
no.
Okay. I will. We got Sonia was the first to go. BB followed her, then Stacy, then Ramona, then Dirk, then Joel, then Gretchen, then Greg, then Jenna. We're down to the final 7. And let's kick this thing off.
Is it the final 3 that go to like the final?
It is sometimes.
Is
This
it
season,
2?
it's final 2.
2? Okay.
It's the dynamic duo that makes it to the finals.
Okay.
So let's start off. A few people, like Colleen and Kelly, feel that it's a little scary and awkward right after somebody's voted off. Meanwhile, Sue is just kind of like, it's quieter without Jenna. This is kind of nice.
Yeah, Sue is
Type of thing.
Sue is my queen. She's just like, oh, it's really good to get all these people out of here because I'm ready to win.
It really just shows the difference of being on the hot seat and not on the hot seat. Because, of course, Colleen feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She is one of the next potentially to go if the previous Tagi tribe continues to vote off all of the Pagong tribes.
And she's no dummy.
She's no dummy.
She knows what's happening.
And then it's no surprise that Kelly also feels awkward because she just went against her alliance.
Correct.
In the previous episode.
Correct.
So it's just really no surprise that both of those characters feel uncomfortable when Sue probably won't be going home for the next couple episodes at the minimum.
Yeah, because she's safe with Rudy and Rich.
With Rudy and Rich, and then you also kind of assume that...
I don't think Kelly would ever vote her off either.
Yeah. Kelly and Sue's bond really does grow in this here episode. So after all that, Jarvis is kind of on the fence if there even is an alliance, it seems like.
Jarvis
the way that
is so
he's
dumb.
talking about it.
It's so dumb.
He repeats this multiple times. I put it in quotes. There's got to be an alliance. There's got to be.
And
he is still unsure.
And then it like clips to Colleen where it's just like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Of course there's an alliance.
Hilarious. It's hilarious that Jarvis is just doesn't even consider.
He's really not in tune with what's happening.
Yeah,
he's
You're gonna tell me that by chance no Tagi member has gone home in the last 4 episodes?
Exactly.
Come on.
And it's always 4. Like, come on.
Open your eyes.
Colleen saw it very clearly.
Oh, yeah,
very evident.
Colleen makes it very clear that she is ready to vote for Sean.
Yeah.
She makes that clear early.
Yeah.
And Sean opens himself up to strategy in the game.
Yeah.
He allows himself. He decides, you know what? This has become a little bit real for me now.
No, okay. So I think what he does is he feels sorry because of his alphabetic strategy getting rid of Jenna. So he's like, I'm so sorry. That's not fair of me to play this way. I'm gonna change it up. Where it's just like you should have just not done that from the get go, Sean. He's trying to be like, I don't know, Gandhi out
You
here.
think he's Gandhian?
He's trying to be,
Mm.
where he's really trying to be so kind and just, have a very,
I think that he was trying to avoid feeling bad.
yeah, like,
It wasn't about. It's not about like him worried about how the other person's going to feel. He doesn't want to feel bad. He
he's
doesn't want to
avoiding
feel
conflict at all
responsible.
times.
Yeah.
That's like his thing. He's trying to go no conflict.
But
But the show literally is about conflict.
it's about conflict, and yeah, I will say that at this point in the episode, I've felt more than ever before that everybody there is ready to kind of compete a little bit. Like everybody's on the same page that we kind of got to start thinking a little bit and like
Right.
talking to each other.
There's a game happening. It's not just us on an island trying to create a society.
Right.
It's like I'm trying to play for $1 million here.
Exactly. Rich gets a little taste of a potential alliance on the other side after he got some votes in the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
He got 3 votes.
I don't think that was an alliance, though. I think that was just people being sick of Rich because he has this kind of ego arrogance about him where they're just like, yeah, fuck Rich.
Yeah, yes, but it got him to this point where he's talking about limiting food.
Right. Wait, his strategy is like down till 5 or something. It's like
For
once
sure.
it gets down to 5, then I'll start fishing more or something. And Sue was even just like, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, Sue's down. She's willing to let Rich do how Rich is going to do,
Right.
which is smart of Sue, honestly.
Well, because here's Sue's strategy that I love is that she's like, I'm going to play dumb redneck.
Yep.
How Rich thinks that she is, and then have Rich tell her everything about his strategy and plan, not knowing that she is willing to go with Kelly and turn on Rich in a heartbeat.
Right. And Rich said that he's done finding food until there's 5 people left, is what he says.
Okay.
That's like his plan to Sue.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Sue says the redneck thing, just like you said. And Sue's trying to take Kelly with her and take out Rich. And it just seems right at this point that the core 4, Rudy, Rich, Kelly, and Sue, all see like the end of the tunnel type of thing. And they're all kind of like thinking like 3 steps ahead rather than Rich and Sue being the only ones that were thinking a couple steps ahead. It feels like at this point.
Yeah, the only one who we don't get glimpses of like really scheming is Rudy.
That's true, but Rich would love to be in the final 2 with Rudy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. That's why that's how Rich wants it to be.
Yeah.
That's best case scenario for him is he goes to the final with Rudy.
Yeah.
And Rudy doesn't get as many votes. Probably. Yeah. Who's to say? Jarvis's 3rd kid is born. Congrats, Jarvis.
Yeah, he's got 3 kids,
He's got
two
3
baby
kids,
mamas.
2 baby mamas. He's smoking. Everybody gets to smoke cigars.
I thought it was just him.
No, everybody was puffing.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Colleen was puffing on a cigar. It was wild.
Oh, I didn't see they all had cigars.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Cigar. But yeah, he's got a new baby boy, I believe.
So good for Jarvis. Sean and Jarvis opened an empty pizza box with a clue to the next challenge. And I thought maybe a pizza reward at that time. I was like,
That's
maybe.
the logical conclusion of a pizza box for a reward challenge.
Oh, yeah. So this reward challenge, you get a phone call home and a pizza, a slice of pizza.
One slice of pizza.
That's all it takes. Hey, at that point, one slice goes a long way.
I thought that was such bullshit. You can't give him a full pizza?
For one person?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No.
Yes.
They deserve a full pizza.
They do not deserve anything.
Yes, they do.
They're Oh,
I think they deserve a full pizza.
Yeah, okay.
It was in the budget for a full pizza.
well,
Since it came on a fucking helicopter.
Okay, we'll talk pizza in a minute.
Go to Costco. It's $10.
Yeah, well, At that point, cheaper.
Yeah, it was probably like 5.
So pretty much you got to move across the bamboo the fastest. The fastest 4 move on, then it gets down to the fastest 2. Rudy and Kelly just fall in right away.
Mm-hmm.
They do not hesitate and just fall. It comes down to Sue, Rich, Sean, and Jarvis. Then it comes down to Rich and Jarvis. Jarvis wins the pizza and the call home, and he shares a bite with everybody of the za. So he
sweet.
did not even need a full pizza.
So sweet.
He only wanted part of a slice. He talked about how thick the slice was. It was big enough. It was a good enough reward, honestly.
Sure.
And if he wanted more, he could have had more, but he decided to share.
Sure. Nice guy.
I thought that was very nice. I really did. I also noted that this was a solid challenge. I would say that it should have been a little bit more difficult.
I wish the balance beams were longer.
Yeah, like
apart.
it should. Yeah, like everybody should have fallen once.
Yeah.
And then maybe a couple people made it after that, but it was like,
or like the
one
balance beams
fall.
are progressively longer
Yeah.
the further you got.
I agree with you there. So that was kind of a bum ski. But all in all, like I said, it's a good idea. They're headed in the right direction challenge wise. It's not like some of the really bad challenges earlier.
True.
Post reward challenge. Rudy says, "I'll probably never see any of these people again in my life," and that's the way I want it.
Probably.
That's intense. I definitely feel like maybe it's just 'cause
old...
the first season. Maybe it's because he's just old and doesn't realize. But there's for sure like a reunion. Like there's no way.
There's a reunion episode.
No. Like there's a reunion like where I'm sure like there's got to be like a group text they keep. There's this. There's that. Like
I don't know. They're like an email thread that they're
email
all on.
thread at that point. Exactly. They're paying per text still.
Right on T9.
Exactly. And then Jarvis calls his baby mama.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, so... I mean, like, it's great you're on a TV show, whatever. Like, enjoy your life. But, like, that's kind of shitty for the baby mama, where the dad's, like, on the other side of the world.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. But also, like...
out here giving birth.
Yeah, I guess. But if he comes home with $1 million...
Right, but obviously.
Yeah, but so a lot of people don't know this. You do get money on Survivor for making it further. You don't walk away with nothing.
I think you get paid per episode, right? That's how some reality TV shows
you get
do
paid
it.
depending on how far you go. Like it could be per episode, but I think it's like if you get like 3rd and 4th place, it's X dollars. If you get something like that, I think.
I know some reality TV shows, however, like you get paid per episode, so obviously the better it is to be on as many episodes.
Yeah, so he made it pretty far and probably made a couple $1,000s in less than a month.
Yeah.
Missed the birth. Sucks. That's brutal. So yeah, but I thought the call was cute. Thought it went well. Kelly says she feels like Luke Skywalker. And she's anti-Richard.
Anti-Rich.
Very anti-Rich.
Rich is Palpatine, or who's the evil guy?
Vader?
No, the other guy. The one that's
Darth Maul?
No, the like governor, the senator, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's like the one with shocky electric lightning hands.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That one.
Yeah, him. She's anti-Rich.
Yeah.
And that's kind of pretty much all that happens.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
In between that, we come to this here immunity challenge, which I thought was not a terrible immunity challenge. You got to collect driftwood. Then you got to stack it. And you get like 3 minutes to do that. Then you got to go light the torch in like across some water.
Mm-hmm.
Walk back the fastest and try to burn this wick to get this flag to be raised, and then whoever does it first gets immunity.
Yep. I wish that, and so that like where they had, I don't know what you call them, pylons for lack of a better word, tiki torches out in the water that they had to go light their torch off of.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they had to like physically make fire.
Yeah, I agree.
That would have been more exciting.
Sue starts this challenge off by grabbing a big old bush, and I really thought that at that point, she had a good base to start her fire. So I kind of was like rooting for Sue for a second.
No, she had a good strategy about it.
Jarvis, his torch goes out on his first way back.
Well, if you remember when they all ran to the water, he ran the fastest and the furthest, but it's like he got cut at the knees when he hit like deep water and just like face planted into the water with his torch.
Oh yeah. Hilarious. And so then he has to go back, and then Jeff is all like, it's going to be fine. You got time.
Bitch, there was no time.
Not only was there no time, it fucking goes out again when he gets onto the sand.
Because he got it wet.
He's so stupid.
Fucked up.
It's tough stuff.
And I think Jeff even said, like, don't get it wet. I think he even said that. So, big brain out of Jarvis.
Big brain. Rich wins immunity. He does. He did it. And he points his fingers to the sky and he yells, yes! And does a little dance. It's kind of funny. I chuckled, Rich is getting a little big for his britches,
For sure.
But you win immunity, you feel very safe. You're good.
One thing that I'm still noticing out of this whole series is that everyone seems to be losing weight besides Rich.
I would agree with you. In the next episode, he does look skinnier.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw this.
I don't know if I caught that much.
He does look slimmer in the next episode.
But everyone's looking like fairly emaciated. And then there's Rich.
Yeah, Sean and Jarvis have like 8 packs.
Yeah, so skinny.
But Rich came in with a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, he was a big boy.
So yeah, Rich wins his immunity, and then we get back to camp, and Jarvis and Colleen give themselves some nicknames. Do you remember these nicknames?
Jarvis and Colleen give each other nicknames.
They give themselves, not necessarily each other.
Pugong people. No, I don't remember.
Wow, that was not even a good try.
What? Peggy Pugongs?
No.
Pugongs?
Jarvis goes as Bullseye.
Okay.
And Colleen goes as Sitting Duck.
Oh, okay. I do remember Colleen saying that she was a sitting duck, but I thought that was like in tribal when she's she's like Jeff.
She does that too.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is before that. This is the first mention of Bullseye and Sitting Duck.
Got it.
Jarvis talks about how arrogant Rich will be after winning immunity at Tribal, which I will say I don't think he was that arrogant. He really kept it kind of low.
He was kind of normal.
He kept it lower key than when he doesn't have immunity.
Right. Yeah.
Sus.
So playing the game.
And then for the smallest, briefest moment, Survivor camera crew / Jeff Probst teases that perhaps Jarvis, Colleen, Sean, and Kelly might form some sort of alliance. I don't know if you saw this little tease. There's a good chance you missed it. But
was this like a little night cam moment thing?
It wasn't night cam. But like literally there was a moment where I don't know if Jarvis was talking to Colleen about Jarvis and Colleen were saying that they could possibly get Sean on board, and because like Kelly's the easy swap.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point I was like, then they got to go for Rudy because Rich has immunity, and I think that Kelly would not want Sue out quite yet. So I thought at that moment that Rudy would be on the hot seat. I've considered it. It was just like very shortly teased.
It was a pipe dream. It was never going to happen.
Well, it's just because Kelly seems like she may flip. That's really the only thing.
Yeah.
And Sean was thinking what's best for him and what would be best for Sean.
Because Kelly does feel some type of way where being a deviant schemer type player is not her MO. She really doesn't like that aspect of the game and that type of person. So that's why she kind of flip-flops against Sue and Rich and Rudy.
For sure.
But in the end, I think she'll stick with them because it's a guarantee for her still.
Yeah, I think you're right too. But they still teased it like that. That's good camera work. That's good producing.
Yeah,
that's the type of thing that I want to see more of come more Survivor time, is them teasing some different possibilities just to get the mind going a little bit.
Sure, totally.
The storm ramps up as it usually does come tribal time.
I think they have to be filming in monsoon season.
Yeah, you say that every week.
Because it's true. There's rain all the time, and then the next episode, it's not. It's more evident.
Oh yeah, so the storms are coming down, and all the survivors are given raincoats, which I thought was just.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's a just thing to do. Rich does not put on a raincoat. I don't know if they don't have one big enough for him. Yikes! I didn't mean that, Rich. But he did not. He just was sitting out there, kind of posing, shirtless. And
Surprised he wasn't naked.
Surprised he wasn't naked. The producers are probably like, "Come on, guy. Keep
Put your fucking pants on.
put the mouse back in the house. Come on."
Put the mouse back in the house.
But Rich is talking to the camera, and he's just so omniscient. He really is. He's just like, Kelly could flip. I could see her flipping for sure. And he just seems to be considering all the different angles and possibilities. So
he's very dialed in. He's very aware of everybody's moods, emotions, and happenings.
he reads people.
Yeah.
He reads people.
Yeah. An empath?
An empath.
Question mark?
We get to tribal.
We're there.
We're there. It's happening. Pretty much Jeff is just stirring the pot a little bit. Not too much, but he's stirring.
He tries.
Sue talks alliance and relates it to politics. I thought you might have liked that rant.
It was so close. I mean, yeah.
And then she got off it a little bit. She kind
Yeah.
of ranted away from it too.
No, but she was talking about everyone's alliances. There's alliances within the government. The president makes
It
alliances.
was so funny.
She's trying to give herself like some weird
justification. Yep.
for them being alliances, and she kind of admitted to like, yes, there's a lot. Yes, obviously there are alliances, and then I think Jeff turns to Rich, and Rich is just like, I don't know about an alliance.
Yeah, Rich says that he just doesn't feel he can trust anybody at this point.
Like he kind of plays dumb.
Which Loki is rightfully so. He can't trust anybody at this point except Rudy.
Yeah,
he can't. He's right.
And
to
even
do
then,
that.
can he trust Rudy? Because Rudy, thinks he's a no good queer.
No, he doesn't think he's a no good queer. He's a queer.
Yeah, he's just all right. He's a queer.
He's a queer, and that's okay.
Well, ask Rudy.
Jarvis, did you notice Jarvis's shirt?
No.
Little Easter egg action for the people, for the diehard Survivor fans out there. This is the type of thing that people turn into Sofa Survivor to hear us talk about.
For these kinds of Easter eggs.
These types of things that people just don't notice. On the back of his shirt, he taped a bullseye. And it said Bull's Eye above and below as well.
Got it.
As was his nickname.
Okay.
And during that tribal, Colleen mentioned that she was sitting duck. Jarvis said nothing about him being Bullseye, but he was wearing it on his back.
So help me understand the Easter egg for the later.
A lot of people
seasons.
don't see that stuff. No, it's not a later season thing.
Oh.
It's just, little fun little tidbit that a lot of people, aka you,
just
would
those
not
little
even
attentions
see.
to
Little
detail.
something, yeah. Pay attention out there. There's things you're missing.
I don't think that really adds.
Open
much
your
to the story,
eyes.
but okay.
No, it doesn't add much to it, but it makes it a little more fun.
I guess it's it's like, haha, he had time to tape stuff to his
The
t-shirt.
listeners are booing you right now,
They
and
should,
they're going, Tom, you get it. You get it. Mike Tomato, boo. That's what they're doing right now.
That's fine. I'll be the Rich on this episode.
Yeah. Oh, you're Rich. You're the Joel. You're the
I'm still here.
You're out of here. You're
So
gone. Get the hell out of here.
So eat it with your bullseye t-shirt.
You're just jealous that you didn't see it. You're pissed you didn't see it.
It's not
You're
that
mad
important.
you don't have your notes. You don't show up with your notes. You don't show up noticing people's shirts. It's
I
fine.
still remember a decent amount
It's
of the
fine.
episode.
Yeah, no, you don't. You think
I don't
you
need
do, but you
notes.
don't. That's where you're wrong. Anywho, seems like Pagong had no interest in using Sean's vote anyway, which I thought was interesting. And all the votes go on Jarvis, and only 2 votes onto Sean.
Yep. Very clear that Jarvis was easily the next person out. Not only was he a threat
He's a bullseye.
in terms of like the gameplay, because he's a pretty athletic guy, He's no help to the
Yeah.
tribe.
He talked about how he just laid around. He's just had kind of a chill situation as long as
So
it had
I thought
been.
it was pretty clear that he was going to be out. And my notes where I did say that like the next out was going to be Jarvis, that was correct.
I believe we were both correct about that.
Yeah, check your notes.
Yeah, we both said Jarvis episode
Yep.
10.
It's very obvious. It was very clear that he was the next one. If he didn't have immunity, it was definitely going to be Jarvis.
And you thought Sean was next.
I did.
And I thought Kelly was next.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jarvis goes home. We're gonna take a brief couple seconds for you guys to take some time to pause. I know how a lot of people like to, pause and hop back into a podcast. Now would be a good time to pause and take a little break
To
if you want to take a break.
pause.
But we're gonna get back to it here. We're gonna get into season 1, episode 11. Here in a moment, I'm just going to take a bite of a snack and a sip of the water, and we'll be back in action.
Not even cutting. Everything's happening
No
live.
cut. It's all live, you
Everything's
guys.
happening. Actually, we're going to take this brief moment for ASMR. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
listen to some chewing. You can listen to some water drinking.
If you're watching, I'm dancing a little bit.
There's some dancing happening. It's getting crazy up in here. It's so fucking crazy.
Uns.
And let's talk about it. Let's talk about how crazy it is. It's so crazy.
And we're back.
Can we just talk about how stupid that the next challenge is going to be for this one?
For the reward challenge?
Is it the balance beat that like the blocks? You got to take the blocks away. Yeah, it's the one where they're all standing in the water.
Okay, immunity.
Oh my god, it was so stupid.
Really?
I hated it. So boring.
We're going to talk about it. We'll talk about it.
So boring.
I'm going to get into it. I like that you have that, but I'm going to...
Okay, let's get into it.
So this season 1, episode 11 is it's a good one. I liked it as a whole episode. I thought it was better than the previous episode. Thought there was more juice, a lot going on.
Yeah, more character play, for sure.
So we still have the Ratana tribe. We got Sean, Rudy, Kelly, Richard, Susan, and Colleen. The people that we have that are gone. We got Sonia gone, BB, Stacy, Ramona, Dirk, Joel, Gretchen, Greg, Jenna, and Jarvis all gone. I'm going to say this one time to the listeners. And I'm going to try not to repeat it again this episode, but it might happen. But I'm going to definitely say it one time. I am happy that Jarvis is gone. Not for the reasons y'all think.
Racist.
Not for the reasons anybody thinks. I am so tired of writing his name in my notes.
Oh, because you spell it wrong?
Because I spell it wrong. It's the longest name.
It's like Gervais.
It-
Like how it's spelled.
Not only is it Gervais, the G is my least favorite capital letter to write.
Oh, really?
Just plain and simple.
Oh, I love it. I
Least
think it's a great
favorite.
letter.
Oh, hate it.
I think it's a great letter.
Well, I lack consistency with my G.
Let me see your capital G.
No.
Come on, let me see your capital G.
This is not about my G. This is about my Chi.
You don't have to be self-conscious about your G. Everyone's G is different, and that's okay.
You can look at my notes off pod and talk about it, but on pod, the notes are
Okay.
pretty much a Bible at this point. So,
In Lord we pray.
so there's 6 left, you guys. Six
Six.
left, 6 people,
So close.
6 humans, and it's day 31 at this point. We've hit the month,
Yeah. It's a long time.
the month mark.
It's a long time for them to be living under those conditions.
But Jarvis gets to go back to his baby.
No, he's still on the island.
Yeah, he's on the jury.
Yeah.
Sucks. Everybody's fatigued and hungry at this point. Colleen has all kinds of bug bites on
Poor
her
Colleen,
legs.
yeah,
It
they showed
looks
the
brutal.
They showed her leg on camera, and it's like sore as well. I think there was even like a very faint image of like where kind of like a fly larva, whatever those are called.
Yeah.
Not a termite. What the
She's
hell?
having a hard time.
What the hell are they called?
I don't know.
A little bug, whatever. She's got a bug in her leg.
Yeah, she's having a bad time.
It's so bad.
She's having a real bad time. I hate to see it. Paranoia is kicking in. Rich says to Rudy that he is his number one. And Kelly and Sue go off on a little walk. A
Mm-hmm.
little something, something. Not too much else happens before we hit the reward.
Was this the episode where Sue got a little emotional?
About what?
Where like she lost her friend, and so Kelly they've gotten very close to each other.
I think so. I didn't really write down anything about that. You note that?
I did note that. I
Okay.
thought that was very touching because we got a
If
glimpse
we do
into
get to that, I might have it later.
we got a glimpse into some real life stuff. That's
But I didn't note
happening.
that earlier. But yeah, that might have happened before this.
It might have been last episode.
Good note.
but
Still good note. Good, worth mentioning.
yeah, little Sue got a little emotional. She lost her friend, and her and Kelly gotten very close.
Definitely worth mentioning. We've got what's called Survivor Trivia. It's the reward. I didn't totally understand the whole setup of it all because they're like playing like a weird way of like almost Twister setup. They're hopping forward. Like it was just kind of like a little bit weird how they did it. I don't know why they had to do it where they're moving up like
I think
that.
they had to make it like weird tier structures to like get people eliminated because like once every like it was different color, right? It was
They
like
could have just done first person
it was
to get
like
5
red.
right.
It was like red, yellow, green or something. And so like once everybody got to the red or once everybody got to the yellow and there was still a person in the red, they were eliminated and then like so on and so forth. So I understand it in that sense where you had to like eliminate people and you couldn't just have people standing in the back if they were going to lose anyway.
I guess. I just feel like they easily could have just had everybody stand next to each other and just go, first to get 5 right wins. And it would be equally as entertaining, a little less confusing, and just personal opinion.
I actually didn't
Personal-
mind this one.
That's no, I didn't mind
Yeah.
it. I didn't mind it. Really didn't mind it. Didn't love the hoppity hip stepping up type thing.
They had to do something
it was-
physical, I guess.
Not true,
They
but
had
that's
the budget for it.
fine. Sure, that's fine. Good for them. Winner gets one night on a yacht, luxury dinner, fresh sheets, hot shower. It's true or false or multiple choice questions that get asked.
Mm-hmm.
Seems early that in the early part of this challenge, it seems like Colleen might win. Did you see that?
Yeah, she was steaming ahead.
She was steaming ahead.
She was getting things right.
Then-
Couldn't close though.
And then Richard ends up taking the lead near the end. And he gives a nice little yell. He goes, "Oh, baby."
I did not remember that.
Oh, he does. And it was so funny because I don't know. I latch onto these things because I think it's hilarious when to see somebody get a little extra excited because Rich, he probably feels like he's going to win. And I don't think he's going to win. I think that somebody's going to get to him first. And I just
Like win the show.
yeah, I think
Oh,
Rich
okay,
feels
yeah.
like he's going to win the show. So when he does something like that, he's just like, yes, another feather in my cap,
Sure.
you know? And like, that's kind of what he's thinking.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But he hasn't won this immunity challenge or this reward challenge yet.
No.
That's kind of the thing.
No.
And
And to my knowledge, he's only won one immunity challenge since the merge.
still says a lot, you know?
Yeah,
It's tough out there.
it's true. It's true.
There are some seasons where it's just like that guy wins immunity 5 times and everybody else is just getting voted off and they're just like, we just need him to lose one.
Right.
The moment he loses one, then we got him.
That's scary.
No matter what.
Yeah, that's
Because nobody else can beat him at the challenges.
right.
Or her.
That's scary stuff.
It's scary stuff. It is how it is. It ends up a tie between Sean and Richard, dynamic duo. It's a showdown. Sean wins the showdown and the reward challenge.
Which I actually liked part of the game where you learned some survival stuff.
I like that.
So if you don't have access to water, you shouldn't eat because digestion will dehydrate you faster.
Mm-hmm.
If you have like stomach parasites or something, you have to drink kerosene. It's like a way to get rid of them. I thought that
Correct.
was pretty interesting.
Wow, fun facts for Mike.
Yeah, those are things I latch on to
Latch.
while watching the show.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Latch on. So Sean wins. Sean gets to pick one person to have breakfast with. And it's kind of like a little stir the pot action.
Mm-hmm.
There's a major storm coming down. Good thing they have these raincoats. That's what I thought right there.
And they use so when they had that one airdrop care package from Target,
right
they still have the parachute
that they're using as a tarp.
that's like their only dry shelter.
Thank goodness they have that.
Yeah.
Truly. If they had chosen to stay at the Pagong beach, they would be devastated.
They would be fucked.
They would be so devastated.
They would be literally fucked.
Is Colleen's legs like that? Are Colleen's legs like that because she was sleeping in the woods with Greg?
I'm sure it didn't help.
But
maybe
nobody else has that. Greg's gone.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean,
the diehard Survivor fans are going to appreciate me saying that.
Okay. Yeah, because we were like, if you were like, Sue was fine, Kelly's fine, Rich is fine, Rudy's fine. Yeah, it really just is Colleen. So I don't know. Maybe she's like not sleeping under the mosquito net all night. I don't know.
I think it started earlier and it's just getting worse. She
hasn't healed or anything like that.
And she keeps itching it at night and she keeps ripping the scat. Like she said it. She's ripping the scat. It's gross.
It's true.
As this storm's coming down, I think to myself, I think, how are these guys supposed to even strategize? They're stuck so close to each other. You can't.
They can't, and they have to yell underneath like the loud rain.
It's brutal.
Yeah, they can't strategize.
So I considered that for a moment, and then this is when your girl Sue says, "But it sure beats driving a semi through Chicago in the afternoon at 4 p.m.
on a Friday afternoon.
At 4 p.m.
Because Sue, you are correct.
You couldn't be more right.
That shit sucks.
Doesn't matter if you're in a semi or if you're in a little smart car. Not a good time.
That traffic is brutal.
Yeah,
I would argue. I mean, LA is infamous for traffic. I would put Chicago like really number 2 on the.
No way.
On the traffic.
You got to put it behind NYC.
Really?
Maybe since didn't New York City?
They have that congestion pricing now.
That's
in
what they changed. So maybe now Chicago's worse. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I still almost doubt it.
It's brutal. We should do congestion pricing.
I'm sure we will eventually. Anything to make another.
I mean, the city needs money. Yeah.
Ugh.
The city desperately.
That would
needs
really
money.
suck. Yeah. There you go. Anyway.
I can see it in the loop. I can see congestion pricing in the loop.
Tune into Sofa Tomatoes. We'll talk about this in the future.
Yeah.
No, don't be sorry.
We'll go on.
No. We could tangent. I just, this is a good thing to talk about. We should talk about it.
That is a tomatoes thing.
On a tomato topic.
Yeah, that is the Sofa Tomatoes thing.
Anyway.
I say tomato topic.
Yeah, you like that, don't you?
It's great alliteration.
Somebody's got to alliterate. Jeff shows up to bring Sean to the yacht. There's a beautiful little rainbow coming in.
So beautiful.
Beautiful little rainbow.
A double rainbow.
The rainbow was nice. It was lovely.
It was cute. It was very cute.
Nice
so
to
gay.
see after a big old storm.
I think Rich finally felt represented.
I'm sure he did. It's about time. So Sean... Earlier, Sean says that he's going to take Kelly for the breakfast. He says...
Allegedly. We only hear that from Kelly.
No.
Did he say that?
Yes.
Oh, damn. Liar.
He is sitting there. He's like, Kelly, I'm going to take you for the breakfast. I'm just going to take you. You're the person I'm going to take.
Oh, I just remember
it
the
is
scene
what
of Kelly
it is.
being like
it's going to be what it's going to be.
Okay. Damn.
You're my choice.
Damn. You really got Kelly.
And Jeff goes, who are you going to take? Sean. And Sean chooses Rich right after he said he'll take Kelly so clearly right before.
He like shouts it as he's getting on the boat. He's like, Rich, you want eggs in the morning?
He goes, Rich, you like eggs in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sean gets to the yacht. He eats. He showers. He gets a massage.
He has a special visitor.
Hold on. Did you notice while he was getting the massage?
About what?
The masseuse slaps his ass so hard. Did you see that? No. Are you fast forwarding through this?
I did fast forward through some of
it. Literally, she pulls the towel back and smacks him on the ass hard.
Just because?
He was egging her on.
I'll have to rewatch that.
Yes, I can't believe
Well, I don't like that stuff's boring. Like, congratulations, you're satiating yourself with all this.
You
bullshit.
are a co-host of a podcast about it. You have to care a little bit.
God. I care about the important stuff.
It all matters.
All right, you got his ass.
The listeners care about the minute details.
Us, the only listeners, us.
Yes.
Okay.
Eventually, other people are gonna tune in.
All right. Well,
Jeez.
all right, fine.
Ay.
Cut me some slack. It's the first season.
First season. We're post merge.
Move on. On to the next.
We digress. Sean's dad is the captain. That's the big surprise.
Is he ethnic? I couldn't figure out like if he was like New York accent, if he was like Slavic. I don't know.
I thought Sean's from like Boston or something.
That's like it's East Coast,
area,
yeah,
sure, without a doubt.
And I was trying to pick up on the accent if it was like there's something else there, but yeah, definitely East Coast.
Yeah. So this is where I noticed that Rich was losing some weight. Is this part of the show right here
When he's at breakfast?
before breakfast?
Okay.
Jeff comes with the boat to pick up Rich. And Rich yells, "Get your skinny ass over here." Word for word what Jeff yells.
That's fat shaming.
No, he's skinny.
I know. It's a joke.
He's skinny. It's the opposite. He's
Right.
Skinny shaming.
Skinny shaming.
Yeah. And so they get to the breakfast, and it just kind of seems like they're just having a good time. I thought that it was bizarre that zero strategy was talked over breakfast between Sean and Rich.
No, I don't think that's bizarre at all. Because Sean was never included in Rich's strategy.
But so I understand what you're saying, but that's not the point. The point is because Sean wasn't in on it, this is his opportunity to get one-on-one time where he literally is also feeding him.
I think
watch more seasons and then tell me that I'm right, because
no, I can understand where you're coming
it's
from
all day long.
But I think from Rich's perspective, it was fine not to talk strategy with Sean because it was Rich doesn't need Sean. He doesn't need Sean's vote.
Exactly. Sean needs Rich. That's what I'm saying.
But Sean is too dumb. Like he's
not dumb.
He plays too like he's like a hopeless romantic survivor.
He decided to start trying this episode.
Well, obviously not, because he wasn't talking strategy at the breakfast.
Oh my god.
So he's a hopeless romantic.
You're just fighting me on everything.
You're right.
Why?
And he wants no.
Why? Why are you fighting me?
Because it's for the audience.
It's not for the audience.
And he wants. Like, Sean is only here for, like, no conflict. That was his ABC strategy.
Yeah.
And then I think that's still bleeding into his disposition anyway.
Okay.
So where he's not going to go to Rich and be like, hey, listen up. This is what we got to do. That's not who he is. That was never going to happen.
It for sure could have.
It could have.
Missed out. My
Didn't
opinion.
happen.
It was lame that there was no strat talked. Lame.
Whatever.
No, it's whatever, for sure. Sean's dad ends up coming back to the camp, to the island with everybody, which I thought was kind of strange.
I thought that was weird.
I was thinking to myself, it would be in Sean's best interest not to tell anybody that happened.
That his dad was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Just be like, yeah, the yacht was great. I got this, that, and the other thing.
I'm trying to figure out the timeline of everything. Like, it wasn't a guarantee that Sean was going to win the reward challenge. So how could his dad, like, get out there so quickly?
It would have been somebody else. Like, they would have possibly flown somebody else in, perhaps.
Right, but how they did that fast? Like, how many days passed between the winning of the reward challenge and Sean getting on the boat?
At least a day or so, because the weather was so bad.
Okay. Yeah, I guess like somewhere in that timeline,
yeah,
they could flew somebody out.
For sure.
That's crazy, because then like who would be available? Whatever. But yeah, the logistics of that I thought was very weird and interesting.
Yeah, they find a way.
Or he just happened to be in Thailand or something.
Happened to be chilling. Happened to be on a boat.
Yeah, well, maybe he actually is the captain.
Maybe he's actually a captain. Where was I? It's funny how Sue wants to know what's going on with the world, and she wants to know, and she's like Sean's dad as a frame of reference,
Mm-hmm.
and Sean's dad knows nothing. And I just wrote next to that classic.
That's why
Hilarious.
Sue's my girl, because
Sue's so your girl.
not only is she my Midwestern queen, but she's politically engaged. And I love that.
Yeah. It's funny. Funny stuff.
And I knew early on that Sue was my girl.
You did. Everyone gets a care package from a loved one at home, which I thought was nice. I think that's kind of after everybody saw that Sean got to hang with his dad.
They needed
They
that.
had to be given a little something,
They
something.
needed that. Oh my God. Just Colleen's legs alone.
Yeah.
They needed that.
Oh yeah, and everybody's morale goes up so much after that. Like
Yeah.
the entire tone changes. Which is funny because they're about to battle for immunity and then go to tribal.
Right.
So morale's high.
High highs and
Time
low
for a
lows.
challenge, but then one of you motherfuckers are going home.
Such a survivor.
So you get to the immunity challenge that you hate.
I thought it was so stupid.
The stand-on planks. Jeff moves planks as it goes on, and you can taunt all you want. No touching other players. Those are the
Yeah.
basic rules.
Yeah.
So let's just I'm gonna put down the notes for a second. I'm gonna just sit next to you. I'm gonna say go ahead. What don't you like?
I thought it was incredibly boring.
Okay.
It was it was not dynamic in any regard. I wish they could have like fought each other off the balance beam or whatever. The balance beam, they needed to do something else other than just stand there.
Okay.
What a waste of time. What a waste of direction. And also the fact that Jeff had to like get into the water, use a knife, chop off a rope, pull the plank down.
Let me ask you a question.
It needed to happen faster.
Let me ask you a question. What other challenge have we been left with two women facing off against each other at the end?
Don't know. Well, maybe the like rope one where they had to like get the keys and the rope, and it was like the one that Colleen won or whatever.
Okay. 1 out of 22.
Well, the team ones don't count because it's a whole team.
Okay. 1 out of 12.
It's not been 12 since the merge.
We're on 11. I got all the notes here, so let's.
So the first person to win after the merge was Greg. Then the second person to win after the merge
The merger was 7. So 7.
Who won that one?
8.
Greg.
Yeah,
Who
7, 8, 9,
won?
10, 11. And there's reward challenge and an immunity in each. So that's 10. 1 out of 10.
No, Kelly won, or Jenna won.
Jenna won what?
I think she won a reward challenge.
No, but when was it a final 2 women? Never.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
It's never a final 2 women.
There could be other challenges where women could have won.
I agree with you.
Like in the fire one, who's to say Sue wasn't second behind Rich?
But that's not 2 women at the end.
I understand, but then
You don't understand. That's your argument every time, and you've been wrong. It's 2. I
so
mean it with love.
passionate.
No, but you're not hearing what I'm saying, and you're arguing something that's not
I
against what I'm saying.
I understand where you're coming from, that it needs to be 2 women in the
It
end.
doesn't need to
This
be.
is the only challenge where 2 women could have possibly been in the end, and I disagree with that. But
No,
even
no,
though that's
no,
what
not that it could have
happened,
possibly been. It ended up happening. What makes it a good challenge is that
it was dedicated to the women.
not that it was dedicated to the women, is that it tested a different thing.
Balance has been tested before. It was in the last reward challenge. Balance was included, but Jarvis won that.
Jarvis ain't here no more.
I'm just saying that
It's
balance.
good that you're just saying.
Balance is not new. Balance is not exciting. It just so
Balance is not
happened to
new.
be that this challenge benefited those with maybe smaller frames, which happened
Right.
to be the women.
Okay.
So, kudos, congrats.
Just like other challenges
that makes it a
benefit
good
other
challenge.
players as well.
that makes it a good challenge.
It makes it as fair as any of the other challenges.
I just still thought it was boring. It was very undynamic.
Yeah, it was funny to see Rich sing, and he kind of goofed around a little bit. And one thing that makes the occasional Survivor challenge is that there are these lengthy ones that there are some challenges where they claim that they're there for 4 hours, 5 hours. And like they're much more uncomfortable than just standing on a beam. It's like they put these two like walls in between everybody, and they have to stand on ledges, and then the ledges get smaller and smaller as you go down further and further until your feet are literally hanging off of like this much. And it's crazy. It's actually crazy. But this is just like the first version of that type of challenge.
Okay.
And those challenges are generally won by women.
Okay.
Generally won by women.
So, because men and women have different physical attributes that make them more likely to win other challenges, this challenge that we have in this episode is considered a good challenge,
yes,
by your metric, because this type of challenge benefits women.
This type of challenge benefits a different body type, doesn't have to be women necessarily. It happened to be two women at the end. Happened to be. It didn't have to
where
be.
I am a little bit disappointed in this challenge is because, sure, body type is part of it, but I'm more interested in gameplay. That's what makes it interesting to me, the strategy of the game. There is no strategy other than who is already predisposed to last.
Right, but it came
That's
down,
boring.
So the final two were Kelly and Colleen.
Right.
And if Colleen had won immunity, Kelly might have gone home.
But that's not what happened. But okay, I understand what you're saying.
I understand that as well. But that is so for the game. That, like, those two going up against each other in that challenge.
I think it's for the show. It's not for the game. But is that a difference? I don't know.
The show is a game.
Semantics.
The show is a game.
But that's my opinion.
You're more than welcome to have your opinion. You also don't have it with all the Survivor information that I have with other episodes and seasons as well.
I'm not a walking Survivor encyclopedia.
Me neither.
The closest thing we got on this show.
I am the closest thing we got, but that's because we got you as the other person on the show, and that's okay.
I'm just the contrarian.
Yeah, you are. You sure are. So, needless to say, it really wasn't an incredible challenge as far as like entertainment wise. Rich made it fun. Like I said earlier, his singing was fun. It was
Rudy got out so quickly.
No surprise that Rudy was gone quick. They were singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall. That was kind of fun. That's a great, everybody's killed time that way. So that kind of made the challenge.
I kind of wish
they
played I Spy or something.
That would have been fun, but there's not many things to spy. So I hear you. But after you get past the tree, the log, and the sand, and the water, what else is there?
I don't know. You figure it out.
The other tree,
yeah.
The other speck of water.
Yeah.
Anywho, Colleen's singing is awful. So it was like nails on a chalkboard. I had to turn down my TV. I had to go down. Do not sing for me ever, Colleen.
Jolene literally left the room.
I bet she did.
She literally
it was
left
terrible.
The room.
It was so bad. Ugh, get better, Colleen. Like you already said, Rudy falls fast. Then Rich falls while he's singing, and that's the reason why he fell.
He got distracted.
He thought that he was, he's such an arrogant, smug guy at this point in the show, as rightfully so. He's been doing good work, but he got himself off. They go in 2 hours and 54 minutes before Colleen makes a move. She falls in. Kelly wins immunity. And then at that point, I considered, could it maybe be Rich or Sean? That's what I considered. I considered maybe they could, maybe Sue sees this as a good time to get rid of Rich. Or maybe Colleen and Kelly can push Sue to be down with Sean. And then maybe Rich and Rudy will just go with it. That was kind of what I was thinking at that point.
It honestly would have been up to Sue if she would have pressed Kelly to make the move.
Maybe. It was I just don't think that any of that came at, like, nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens after this here immunity, and we kind of go to tribal quick.
Mm-hmm.
They talk a little bit about the breakfast thing. Not too much is said. Jeff asks Rich if he's nervous after getting votes to tribals go. Fair thing to ask. The votes come in, and Sean gets 2 votes. Colleen gets 4. And Pagong is gone.
Pagong is gone.
Pagong is gone. And do you by chance remember Colleen's final words on Survivor?
Be nice, be kind to each other, something like that.
Close. Play fair.
Play fair.
Be nice.
Be nice.
Play fair. Be nice.
Yeah, sweetheart.
I only heard play fair at first, and I was like, that's a great thing to say. Don't say anything else and just get out. But then I heard her say play nice. I said, okay.
Yeah.
Or be nice. That's
She's a
good.
sweetheart. She's a
Fair.
sweet girl.
So sad to see Colleen go. Happy she's gone so she can get her legs taken a look at by,
Oh my goodness.
by the doctors.
Yeah, she needs that.
Because that is tough stuff.
She's got literal like termites in her legs.
Oh yeah. So now we're gonna do one of our favorite things. Is we're gonna play the Who's Next game.
Who's next?
And who do we think is gonna win at this point? So we'll start with just the next episode, episode 12. Colleen's gone. We got Sean, Rudy, Kelly, Richard, Susan. Who's next? Do you think Sean?
I think Sean is next.
Mike's gonna go Sean. I am going to say Mike, episode 12. Hold on. I'm going to say that Richard is on the... Wait. No. Not Richard.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah, it is tough, but it's not going to be Richard. I'm going to say I'm thinking between Kelly and Sue. I think that the guys might do something. And I think I'm leaning towards Kelly. I'm gonna go Kelly for episode 12.
Because right out of all of them, Sue and Rudy, I think, are the only ones that haven't won immunity. Or Rudy
Right.
won immunity.
Rudy won immunity.
Yeah, so Sue's the only one that has never won immunity.
She's gotten close too, and she's been pissed.
Yeah.
Some guy, this and that. That's her thing. Who do you think is gonna be out after Sean?
So I think it's gonna be Sean, and then oh, man, that's tough. I could see Sue going, but like then
That's your winner.
but she's my winner.
She doesn't have to be your winner though.
No,
that
she-
can change.
No, she's my winner.
Oh wow.
And I think it's gonna be Rudy, because I think no, not Rudy, Kelly. I think Kelly, because I think Rich can get. I don't know, maybe because Sue has said things in the past about like Kelly stabbing her in the back or something. So I can see Rich maybe getting in her head and being like, Kelly said she was going to vote for you. And so I could see Sue maybe flipping and turning on Kelly.
I think Richard is gonna go episode 13.
You think Rich?
And I know that might sound crazy,
No, it's
but
possible.
I would love to see a Sean Susan finale. I think that'd be good TV. I think Rich is just like,
That's a difficult choice for Tribal.
it is. It would be really tough. You
Yeah.
know, Jenna would vote Sue, no doubt.
For sure.
But everybody else, I'm like, I don't know. I think Sue might end up winning that if it comes down to those two.
I think so too.
So Sue's your winner still. No
Yeah.
shock. And I'm gonna stick with Sean. You know, my last guess was Sean. I know it was far out at the time, but I think that was a good call by me a while back, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, if Sean can win it all.
The
If
fa-
he
I
does,
mean,
I'm going to be so mad. He doesn't deserve it.
it could come down to like Sean and Rudy, or Sean and Kelly, and in which case, I mean,
Sean doesn't deserve it. If it's Sean and Kelly, I would choose Kelly.
you don't get to choose.
Well, I would hope they choose Kelly.
Fair. But Kelly was I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to say.
It is tough.
But that's all I got. You got anything else you want to say about this episode? This is a lively one.
No, I think I've said all I've had to say.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. This is Sofa Survivors. I'm Tom Sofa.
And I'm Mike Tomato.
Tune in some point in your lives again. Thanks. Bye.
At some point